Hello, fellow Americans. I wanted to talk to you about the Donald Trump. Um, Fairly successful guy, somewhat in his own right. I know a lot of people are pissed off at him because of the fact that he went belly up and stuck a lot of contractors and things like that. I know he's a slow pay. He figures the money in his bank is more valuable than money in your bank. But all that being said, the bottom line in the capitalist situation seems to be, quote, successful. Although he probably should work on his hair. Starts to look like Rip Torn. He's got that wild look. Anyhow, Donald Trump talked about the birth certificate of President Obama, or as I shall refer to him as Chairman Obama, being that his followers are in awe, like the word Chairman Mao, back in China during the revolution. This is just another revolution, is the way I can see it, because he lied about everything about himself to get in. He said he was against mandatory health insurance so that he beat Hillary in the primary, and I think that's the only thing that actually beat Hillary, is that most people were against mandatory anything. And he said the biggest difference between himself and Hillary was that she was for mandatory health insurance and he wasn't. Okay. Anyhow, all that being said, the issue comes to Mr. Obama's birth certificate, and it also comes to a matter of trust. Most recently, the revelation is that Bill Ayers, that bomb-toting terrorist of the 60s and 70s, now claims that he wrote President Obama's first book. And when President Obama was quizzed on his relationship with Bill Ayers, he told the press, you can watch it on YouTube, you can watch it, it was an ABC thing, just look up Obama and Ayers. And he said that, he kind of was on a committee with him, and he really didn't know too much about the guy. He recognized that he did some terrible things, but that was in the past. But the point is, the guy wrote his book. Now, you're trying to tell me, and then there's a whole bunch of stuff about all kinds of money that Bill Ayers got Obama to give out. Millions of dollars. I mean, millions and millions of dollars. There's a lot of stuff going on, but apparently the simpleton Americans don't want to look at birds of a feather fly together concept. But it's not totally their fault, because the media has them totally bamboozled and confused. So we have this the thing of credibility of Obama. He lied about mandatory health insurance to get in. He's been basically changing his tune. He said it would be a totally open, brand new era of government, and it's more corrupt than others between the unions, his deals with GE. But anyhow, getting back to the birther thing, Donald Trump has an opportunity to put together something. I mean, if he can put together all these TV shows and stuff, he could put together a deal where what we do is get commitments from people across the United States, have them matched by some of the mega buck people that Trump runs with, even some of his adversaries who hate him. Basically to raise money for a cause. The cause could be Salvation Army, could be the starving people in Haiti. It could be all kinds of interesting things. It could be a selection of things. But the whole point is to run the tally up. Run the tally up. And it's all predicated on Obama coming up with a valid birth certificate to prove where the hell he was born. And once he does that, and it meets the scrutiny of the committee that's going to look at it as being bona fide and all that, this money will go to the cause. And if it doesn't meet the scrutiny, or if Obama doesn't come up with anything to give anybody, then that money will be withdrawn and given back to the people who made the donation, minus, I don't know, a couple percentage points just to cover the expense of transfer of the money during the time. Of course, it should be gaining interest, right? Right, Donald? But this all comes the point that O'Reilly, Hannity, Rush Limbaugh, all these guys could be offering to organize this thing and really see how many people are willing to put some money up to force Obama to come up with his birth certificate. And I think the pressure would be such that if we came up with a sizable amount of money, what would happen is if he didn't come up with a birth certificate, then the people would say this guy is hiding something because he could be helping millions of people or hundreds of thousands of people or making a difference in the lives of people, and he's refusing to do it for whatever reason. I mean, he spent enough money. I was told he spent close to $1 million just to stop people from investigating his past. So from my standpoint, it would seem to me that it would be a media event. The Donald could make money on this thing. Every day the amount would go up. I'm sure the media would pick up on it, that there's, let's say, $20 million raised to find out if Obama really should be president of the United States. And that would be a very interesting thing. Now, the other thing which some of these people could do, but they're not doing it, there's a lot of rich people out there, and these people don't need health insurance. I mean, they could buy a hospital and pay a staff to take care of them if they get sick. They could buy MRI machines, they could buy x-ray machines, they could keep a surgeon on staff. Well, a lot of the sheiks and stuff, that's what they do. They have their own personal doctors who do everything. So, why should they have to buy mandatory health insurance? Because they're going to be a burden on society. That's the whole thing about this thing. You're guilty, you're presumed guilty and not innocent. And so if you don't have health insurance, you're saying, well, you're going to be a burden on society. Well, whatever funds I have a choice to either spend those funds on me or just decide to drop dead. I mean, that's my choice. I may say, well, look, this is a terminal disease. If it's treated aggressively, I might have 5 years and go through a lot of crap. If it's not addressed aggressively, I might have 2 or 3 years. But that's my decision as an American citizen to make. If I want to leave more money for my kids, that's up to me to decide. That is not up to Obama to make me shell out X amount a year for something I'm not going to use, for treatments that I would never go through. I'm not going through transplants. I'm not going through a lot of stuff. But that's my decision. And Mr. Obama wants to take those decisions away from us. So anyhow, it would be nice if some rich fat cat like Rush Limbaugh or whatever, who can afford to make the statement and just defy the government and say, look, whatever you do, whatever you threaten me with, I'm not getting health insurance. I don't need health insurance. I'm not a drain to society. I'm not gonna fill up the emergency room with my body if I get sick. So what is your problem? I have assets to take care of this thing. And a lot of people have assets to take care of the thing, if, in fact, they don't get to the point where they expect to live forever. And none of us are going to live forever. And that's the whole problem. They're trying to suck every last dime out of you to keep you alive for a couple more weeks or a couple more days with no quality of life. And they call that living. And even doing that, we're number 40th or 50th in the world on longevity. I think it's very, very amazing that even in Canada, where supposedly the medicine is terrible, and it is from the standpoint you have to wait months and months and months, sometimes years, for a specific test or whatever, or an operation, and so these people spend their own money to come down here to get operated on. Okay, even with those conditions, okay. They live about 2 years longer than us. Like I said, we're number 40th or 50. Go to the CIA site, and it tells you the average lifespan of like the top 100 countries, okay? And it tells you where we stand. Where we spend the most per dollar. The government's allowing the food people just to poison us with all kinds of artificial dyes, artificial colors, process this, process that. And the genetically modified food, which does all kinds of weird stuff to us, does stuff to the bees. So the government's trying to kill us one way or the other, just for the profitability of people like Monsanto, And the Democrats are all hung up on Donald Rumsfeld regarding Iran or Iraq. They don't care what Obama's doing in Libya. Supposedly that's a clean war, and what we did in Iraq is a terrible war. Back then, you see, the people didn't know what democracy was. They weren't ready for democracy. I remember hearing this. This was all your liberal press saying, "Oh, they're not ready for democracy." Now, oh, they all need it. They all need it. They have to have it because Obama's here or something. And I want people to have democracy. But the point I think I am getting to is that we're in a strange world regarding the media, and our food chain is screwed up, and they won't say anything about that. Take Fox News, okay? Remember Fox News? This news agency that they take on everybody. Well, they hired some investigative reporters on Fox News, and these, I think, are 2 or 3 of them, and they went and they investigated Monsanto. And turns out Monsanto said, "Hey, you air this stuff, and you will never broadcast again." And guess what happened? They didn't air the program. The people quit. They resigned. They couldn't take this crap. They said, "What a crappy organization." So if you want to be pissed off at Fox News, don't be pissed off at them because they're taking pot shots at everybody, including Obama and what's going on. Take pot shots at them for not giving you the news that they could be giving you. And unfortunately, they seem to be the only agency that's actually a news agency that's actually giving you news that the other people don't want to give. Now, what I want to find out is who's talking about the 50,000 mercenary troops that Israel paid for to protect Gaddafi. Now, actually, I'm for it because Israel knows more about the situation than we do as a public. And if they hired those mercenaries, they had a good reason to do it. And the reason is that the people that are trying to unseat Gaddafi have ties to Al Qaeda, and we have people dying in Afghanistan because of Al Qaeda and the Taliban. But no one seems to give a damn. They don't say, "Hey, why is Obama giving these people support so they can wipe out Gaddafi?" Now, Gaddafi, I really could care less if he gets knocked off, but apparently the Israelis think he's a better deal than these wackos. You have the Muslim Brotherhood who's taken over Egypt, and it's already, the Christians are suffering more oppression over in Egypt now than they were when Mubarak was there. And the same thing happened in Iraq. So, Israel, realizes that things are going to get pretty nasty, and they're doing everything they can to keep that region somewhat stable, so we don't have another Inquisition over there. And I think that we better heed what's going on in terms of saying, questioning why Israel is using our money, the money we give them billions of dollars, to hire troops to negate Obama's effect of trying to take out Gaddafi. Now, he went to visit Gaddafi, shook his hand. He was, I probably hugged him. I haven't seen the videos of it, but they were bonding there pretty well. We gave him aid. He was a member of the UN, and all of a sudden, he's no friggin' good. So what happened? Because he wants to stay in power? Wouldn't Obama take out troops and mow us down if we try to take him out of power? That's what laws are for. You might not like the country. I didn't move to Libya. Okay, I'm here, so I obey our rules here. And wherever you have a country, if you have mayhem and people just can take to the streets and do what they want, that's not a good thing. And when these people are hell bent on killing Christians and Jews, ultimately, that's not a good thing for Christians and Jews. And apparently, Israel has more savvy to survive than the United States. Anyhow, eat your greens and stay alert, okay? Thanks.